So, all right then, fine. Okay, moving along. We have a contractual obligation here to have at least one AEW segment in our top 5 topics.
And
so
Tony
we're gonna
Khan
get back to yes, Tony Khan paid me off. So we're gonna get back to Crown Jewel. Yeah, I'm taking the paycheck just like Dave Meltzer. What do you want me to say? But okay, we're gonna come back to Crown Jewel. I promise. We're gonna do the other matches, or at least most of them. But we're gonna jump to AEW Dynamite, baby. Dynamite. So what day was this? Let me see. This was for the audience, October 30th. So if anybody needs to see this is angle number 1 in our review post. So you could go check out the whole video that I've posted in the description below. But for the purposes of our review here, I'm just going to give a couple pictures. But they started off the show. They were going to show another video package with the Blackpool Combat Club cutting promos, or Moxley's crew, whatever you want to call them. And Orange Cassidy cut them off. He was on his microphone. He's like, cut this fucking video off. Shut it off. I'm coming to the ring and I want to say something. So to paraphrase, because I don't have it, written in front of me exactly what he said, but he said he was going to join the fight, and he challenged Moxley to a match at Full Gear for the AEW World Title, and that he was going to handle this whole situation by himself, and he doesn't want no one else to get hurt, so he's going to just do it by himself, all right? So later in the night, Moxley comes out, and he tries to get Orange Cassidy to come out by using his own guy, Wheeler Yuta. They were going to beat him up, and I guess Wheeler used to be in the Best Friends, right? So this did actually bring Orange Cassidy out. So Orange Cassidy came out to, try to defend Wheeler Yuta for some reason.
What a goddamn goof.
I know, and then Wheeler Yuta just turns around and starts joining in on a beating of Orange Cassidy. But it did get a pop when they started grabbing Wheeler Yuta and I don't know. And then so the AEW defenders come one by one, including Darby Allin, who came from the sky like Sting. And he had the same problem that Sting had sometimes when he was doing that in WCW, that he couldn't get
stuck on him. Yep.
Yeah, they couldn't get that strap off. So he's just going ahead and fighting, with it on or whatever. And he is beating up Claudio, trying to punch him. But, to make a long story short, they get run off here. So the AEW defenders, including Orange Cassidy and everybody, Top Flight, Daniel Garcia, they all come out, and the Moxley's crew kind of just run off, and they powder out. So there you go. That's that. All right, so this was one angle that I posted on my review list of AEW Dynamite from this past Wednesday. What did you guys give it as a rating? Let's see. Vlad gave it half thumbs up. Oh, I don't have Roberts here. Do you remember what you gave this segment?
I don't remember.
Hold on. Let me look it up, and I'll edit this together. For some reason, I try to write down all your things, but damn it, more editing. More editing. Give me one moment. All right, I have it here. All right, so Vlad and Robert gave this a half thumbs up. And Orange Cassidy half thumbs up. I don't know if that was just like Orange Cassidy does, and unenthusiastic. I like it, I guess. You guys kind of like something about this. Me, Kahan was the only guy who was harsh on this, the Malapert Smark. I gave this a thumbs down. So for this angle, on this day, I didn't like how Moxley's crew just kind of powdered out in this instance. Basically all the guys came in and they all just ran them off and ran away. So after a couple weeks of making them look really strong and smart on this night, Moxley's crew didn't look strong, really. So, I'll start with Vlad on this. So, Vlad, you're half thumbs up. I know you said you had a lot of problems with this, but that they're trying, so you gave them something here. But
I'm still grading. Going back to last week, I'm still grading on a curve, I guess.
Yeah, because maybe it was one of the better things on the show, I guess. So you throw them a bone,
I throw them a bone.
Okay, but yes, you didn't give it a full thumbs up. You didn't give it a 2 thumbs up. So maybe you have issues with it. Whatever comments you want to make, let's hear your thoughts first. Actually, also, before I mention this, there is another angle that we're going to discuss after this, which was the Young Bucks thing. Young Bucks leaving And, so that's going to be separate. So if you want to make comments about that, I'll just let you know that we are going to talk about that after this. So, all right, go ahead. Whatever you got on this segment. I guess this includes the whole Orange Cassidy thing. Orange Cassidy is going to be fighting for the championship at Full Gear, this might be the time. This might be it, man. Orange Cassidy, world champion. So whatever you think about that, and then the whole battle they had in the arena. So go ahead. Sorry about that. 90 seconds.
Well, okay. I'll start off just by talking about the interview that he cuts to start the show. He said something about, like, people want me to be a leader, be the face of the company. Who wants this? Like, who is begging for Orange Cassidy to be a leader of anything? Who actually wants this guy to be at the top, except for Tony Khan? Like, who was actually pushing for this? Who would want this goof as their world champion? You have to be insane. You have to be crazy. There has to be something wrong with you mentally.
All right.
To push this
let's
guy
not make fun of the AEW fans like this, but okay. Stick to reviewing what's going on the screen, please.
Well, unless the fans are responsible for pushing this guy, then I don't bear any responsibility to the fans. But I'm talking about who's actually in charge of the company. Okay, the rest of the segment, it was the usual nonsense. I think the only other part that was semi-interesting is Darby coming out like Sting, which is a blatant ripoff of what they're trying.
What do you think of that?
They're trying to rip off the whole NWO Sting thing now.
It's also dangerous, man. Why do they need to do that? It's not that cool, honestly. It didn't look that cool when they come down like that. He's like hanging there. He's just like, please, God, don't let me fall. It doesn't look that smooth. So I
don't think he would be afraid of that. Of all the things all the other things he's done, I wouldn't be worried.
Darby would probably prefer to die that way, but that's not the point. The point I'm trying to say is that it's a ripoff, and you're right. For some reason, when Sting did it, it looked a lot cooler. I don't know if it's just because WCW had better equipment or they were in bigger arenas or whatever have you. I don't know. But yeah, it didn't really look that great when he was kind of looked like he was just hanging there.
Yeah, when Sting did it, he came down. He just popped up out of nowhere and he was ready to whoop ass. When they've done it twice now that I've seen. Once with Sting before he retired and once right here. And each time they do it, they come down so slow. And it's like, oh my God, everyone sees them coming. Like, Jesus Christ, just put them down already, so they can join the fight. But okay, Robert, the Orange Cassidy promo, he's going to fight Moxley, the whole fight in the ring. So you gave this a half thumbs up. So any thoughts you can remember?
So when Orange Cassidy did his promo, in my head I was like, wow, he's actually trying for once. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I mean, it was an okay promo. I also thought the same when he said that, everybody wants him to be the leader. I'm like, really? You? Oh, sure, I guess. What I did like more was Moxley's response to that when he said, no, you didn't challenge me, I challenged you. Like, I thought that was a pretty cool quote from Moxley. Regarding their upcoming match, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because I remember, I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year, they had a couple of matches for the Intercontinental title, and they were actually pretty good. At least the first one was. I still remember it being entertaining. I don't see Orange Cassidy as champ, though. I don't know. I think Moxley's going to take that one. The rest of the segment was just okay, so I just gave it a half thumbs up.
Okay. All right. Let me move on with the rest of the stories. I'm going to change our clocks since we're past our top 5 angles for the week. I'm going to put a minute on the clock for the rest of the show to try to speed up the pace and get through the rest of it. But I'm going to stick with Dynamite. I'm going to stick with it does have to do with the storyline a little bit, but I'm going to just make this angle about the tag team title match between the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson against Private Party. So this was supposed to be finally the day that Private Party get over and win the tag team titles, which they did. So their tag team was on the line. So if they lost, they had to split up and break up as a tag team. But I'm going to skip the match. It was a whatever match. It was a type of, high-flying, flippity-doo-dah Young Bucks type of match. And then after the match, the Young Bucks did put their titles on Private Party, which at first I thought was supposed to be like a sign of respect. And be like, all right, fine, you won. But there's another hidden meaning behind it, as I will talk to you about in the next angle that we talk about. But Private Party get to celebrate for the moment. So for the match of Private Party finally winning, I will give our reviews for this angle. We all gave it a half thumbs up. So we're kind of happy with it, I guess. I'll give my review on this one first. All right, so I'll put a minute on the clock for myself, and because I do want to talk about this. This is probably more something I want to talk about than anyone else here wants to talk about. But I'll say that the whole Private Party thing was botched so bad since the beginning. Like, they had an idea for them, because very early on in AEW, they let them beat the Young Bucks clean and get over on them. And then nothing for like 4 years. And then finally, like a few weeks ago, they finally started to push them. They've been involved in this Moxley invasion angle or whatever you want to call it. But in my opinion, it's so far too late. That's why I gave this only a half thumbs up. And Vlad, your comment in our review post was, yeah, good for them, right? Like sarcastically, I think, is what you're trying to say. So, yes, this just wasn't done the right way. It wasn't done well. And they could have got so much more out of Private Party winning and becoming tag team champions and beating the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks putting them over was also so half-hearted too, because it's part of the angle that's coming up. So it wasn't even honest. But all right, any thoughts you guys want to give? I guess I'll put a minute on the clock for you also. So Robert, do you have any thoughts about this, or if you want to pass on this, you could. It's up to you. Private Party.
I didn't care much about this too much, so I'll pass.
All right, Vlad, do you want to echo any of the thoughts I have in terms of criticizing booking here, or what do you think?
Well, of course, oh my God, I mean, you could write a whole book about how they misused these guys for years. You know, I mean, they have a talent, but you know, I don't know. And the match,
it's too late. It was too late, huh? It was just too late. No one cares about this. It's so far too late, man. This could have been good 2-3 years ago or something.
I mean, yes, of course. I agree with that part of it. I don't know if you can ever say it's too late. I mean, if the crowd starts to actually, cheer you, or you start to kind of get over, maybe.
Is anyone cheering for Private Party recently? They're cheering for the Outrunners right now. Like, Private Party's old news.
Well, look, I'm not disagreeing with you. Look, I definitely agree with you. I'm just saying, of course, these guys have been misused, and the match itself, like, if you've seen one Young Bucks match, you've seen them all. It's the same stuff, just the same spots over and over again. But, you know, good for these guys. I mean, they're tag team champions. It's going to go down as a record that they were tag team champions. They're good young athletes, but you could only get so far over in AEW. You know, this is probably the best thing they could have hoped for, honestly.
All right. So let me move on to the next angle, which includes the Young Bucks. Okay, so another thing we got to talk about. But so after they lost this tag team match, we got to a segment of the cameraman sneaking into their locker room, kind of, and I don't know, they're doing some weird shit. They're shredding up papers, and they're getting ready to escape. I don't know what they're shredding up. They're vice presidents. In real life, they're the vice presidents too. So in the storyline here, they're leaving. They lost their tag titles. They gave the belts to Private Party. They're like, fuck this. We're out of here. All this stuff with Moxley's crew. It's too violent. It's too crazy. It's too chaotic. We're working from home, as they said. And Daniel's like, hey, come on, man. Like, we need you. You're leaving now. What the fuck? And Daniel's like, well, what can you do? They're gone. And then Brandon Cutler, who was their stooge, they left without him. They left too fast, and they forgot him. He's like, wait for me. And then that's when Moxley's crew come out, who had just been, chased off by all the AEW guys. So they're still hanging out backstage, and they're still trying to act badass, right? So they get Daniels, Moxley's holding Daniels here, while the other guys hold down Brandon Cutler, and I think, what's his name? Claudio is going to smash his hand with a hammer. And he sold it, and he cried, and he screamed, and all that. And Daniels is like, no, don't do that. Which Chris Daniels is like the Adam Pearce, I guess, of AEW at this point, the authority figure, and he's like
poor man's version.
Yeah, it's poor man's version of Adam Pearce. Which I'm a Christopher Daniels fan from TNA back in the days. Unfortunately, here, this is a Okay, what can I say about this? What can I say about this? Okay, so for this one, Vlad's the one that gave the thumb down. You gave a thumbs down to this one, and what did I gave a half thumbs up. I kind of liked it, I guess, because I think it's interesting. And Robert here, where's Robert's? Robert is a thumbs up. So Robert actually thought this was kind of interesting too. So, all right. Where does my half thumbs up come from? My half thumbs up comes from the idea, I guess, of just the Young Bucks deciding to get the fuck out.
That's a fair point.
I guess. But I think a lot of people are skittish because a lot of people are thinking, oh, they're going to be the heroes in all this in the end and be the ones that are like, oh, when everything is down and out for AEW, the Young Bucks come back and super kick party and they're the ones who take out Moxley's crew. But anyways, my reason why I can't give this a full thumbs up or, anything really much better than that is because Moxley's crew, I think they've already lost their credibility earlier in the night, and then they beat up Brandon Cutler. Who gives a fuck about Brandon Cutler? So he's a heel anyways. Nobody really likes him. So, all right, I'll start with Robert. I guess you're the only one who gave this a full thumbs up. So, any thoughts you have about the continuation of this this program here with this little angle for the Young Bucks?
Yeah, for me, this was actually the most interesting segment of the night, actually, because it started off with them shredding documents, right? And then they jet. So they're hiding something. They clearly know something that everybody else in the company doesn't, except obviously Moxley's crew. What it is they're trying to hide, I guess we'll find out later, maybe, I don't know, but they clearly know something more than everybody else in AEW, and they must have known that Moxley's crew was going to come after them because they left in a hurry because look what happened to Brandon Cutler. So I find this intriguing. Like, I want to know what it is that they know. Like, right? Like, why are they so afraid of, terrified of Moxley's crew? Like, well, what is it about them that made them want to just like leave right after losing the belts? Something is up. So we just got to find out. Or hopefully going to find out soon on what this is all about.
All right, Robert. Well, I'm with you. I'm also a little intrigued. That's why I gave it a little thumbs up there. But okay, Vlad, 1 minute on the clock for you, thumbs down. So obviously you're not a big Young Bucks fan, but what can you say about this here?
Yeah, I mean, it was silly. It was dumb. They're shredding papers. What the hell, dude?
They've been stealing money, maybe, or they've been laundering money, or I don't know what the hell. The Moxley's crew was gonna expose them for everything they've been doing, or some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't know if we'll ever find out what the fuck that was. I don't know.
The problem is that exactly that
they shred the paper. So how the hell will we know what the fuck they are now? So
okay, they shred the papers. The knowing AEW, they'll never mention that ever again. They're just gonna they threw in, and they'll never go back to it. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks, but you brought up a good point that maybe I should have given this a higher grade for them leaving, and reports being that they're going to be gone for a while, from what I've read.
Yeah, right. So they're going to be gone. That's going to be tremendous. And of course, the whole what's his name? Brian Cutler? Is that his Brandon Cutler.
Brandon Cutler. Excuse me. Come on, dude. Like, nobody cares about that. And I'm starting to care very little about Moxley's group as well, because that's all they're working with. A bunch of no names, undercard guys that are on Rampage and Collision mostly. So that's who he's basically feuding with. And of course, Orange Cassidy. How could I forget Orange Cassidy, who's another one of my favorites. So anyway.
All right.